Hi, I'm Olivia, and I'm the Witch of Wonderlust. Today I'm drinking Plums and Roses by Sunrise Tea. I got this in my Sips By box. It is so good. I tried so hard to draw this one out as far as I could, but I couldn't help myself. I iced it because it's still incredibly hot in Los Angeles. I'm just not made for the heat. Today I am talking about my journey and my knowledge about pole dancing. I am a certified pole fitness instructor, and so I asked you on Instagram to ask me any questions that you may have about pole dancing or anything in that realm. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's get into it. First, before I actually get into the questions, I'm just going to give a little bit of a backstory on kind of the beginning of pole and what it's done for me and where I am now. Just a super brief one. And then maybe that'll answer some questions that you have already asked, or maybe questions that you didn't ask but have. I don't know. So to begin with, I grew up with all brothers and kind of with this mindset that being feminine is weak. And spoiler alert, it's not, but I always felt like I wanted to be a boy because boys were respected, boys were seen, boys were heard, and women just didn't seem like they had that oomph, that power, that voice, and that's what I wanted. And every time growing up, if I ever tried to express my femininity, especially if it was like showing a little skin and being scandalous, people were like, oh no, and it was this weird, like, they were trying to stop me from knowing something, or, it was like you have your skin, showing your skin and like being comfortable in your sexuality it's too powerful for you. And it was like this power that like people didn't want me to have. And it sounds really deep and crazy, but it's true. That's how it felt. So fast forward right before I turned 18, don't know really what happened. I just called up one of my best friends and was like, hey, I want to go and do something totally out of my comfort zone, something that I would probably never do, just straight out of curiosity, and let's go pole dancing, let's take a class. My mom was like, yeah, do it, let's do it. And she signed the papers for me because I wasn't yet 18, and she took me to the class, and I took the one class with no background whatsoever in sports and gymnastics. I had never danced before. I mean, I did kickboxing for a little bit, but that's not really similar. I took a class and I was awful at it and was not graceful and couldn't touch my toes. Didn't do good, but I fell in love with it. I became obsessed. I just loved so many things about it. And 6 years later, here I am teaching it. So that's kind of my backstory on pole. I have never been like a super feminine person, and I would have not been caught dead in heels, and now the higher the heel, the closer to God. But anyway, so that's my pole story, and I'm sure I will go into a little bit more of it in detail when I open up these questions and start answering them. Ooh, we got a lot of questions. Cool. Okay, so first question, what is the hardest part for a beginner? That, I think, is different for everybody. For me, it was more the strength part and the musicality. Dancing for me was really difficult, just to chill out and listen to the music and let it move me. I always was all caught up in the technicality of things, whereas other people are really, really self-conscious. That's a real struggle for a lot of people, and that's really difficult to be able to step out of that comfort zone and do something for them instead of worrying about what other people think. So I think it just depends on the person. How do you keep your balance on the pole? Practice. A lot of practice. At first I wanted to die, and there's a lot of like skin ripping feeling, but now my thighs are just kind of numb to the world and I don't feel it anymore. I feel nothing. I'd love to start, but I have no studio to reach. Advice on exercises to prep when I find one. Ooh, okay, so pole is a lot in the upper body, the arms, and the core. I would say do push-ups, a lot of pull-ups, and make sure to keep your form really well. So don't pull into your shoulders when you're doing pull-ups. Make sure to keep it super strong. as you're pulling up. Work your arms, and especially your forearms are kind of hard to work, but they're really important when you start doing pull because of the grip. And then for abdominals, make sure that you're doing a lot of different ab workouts. So, crunches and bicycles and mountain climbers, and make sure you're getting the side abdominals. So just kind of look up, I think it's Blagotti's. Don't come for me. But she's on YouTube. She's got some really good at-home workout videos that I really like, and she has a lot of good stretching too. Yeah, do a lot of core. It's kind of like a full body thing, but a lot of core and upper body, and then, always train your flexibility. Which pole from X-Pole is the type that you have? Yes, so my home pole, my personal favorite brand of pole, really safe, and they're used in both studios and homes. I have a spinning chrome 45 millimeter pole. There are a lot of different types of poles for a lot of different reasons, but mine can spin or be static, which means it doesn't spin, so it just depends on what kind of dance or training that I'm doing that day. If you've never stripped before, why do you think it's okay to instruct others? Pole fitness and stripping as a career are two very different things. A lot of people dance very different from the exotic stripper style. Why are you so interested and invested in dancing if you've never been a stripper? Because it makes me feel good. And I love dancing, and it's fun to teach people and watch them come in and teach class and start out really shy and then love that they know that they have a power that they didn't know that they had 60 minutes later. That's probably my favorite part of teaching. Or like dancing in general, it's just a really good outlet for me. Do you think it's positive to steal the work of strippers and rename it to pole dancing? No, because pole dancing and stripping are two different things. Not all strippers pole dance and not all pole dancers strip. If somebody pole dances as a hobby but does not work as a stripper, then they're a pole dancer and not a stripper. So I don't think that like the word or the term pole dancing is trying to dilute stripping, because they can mean different things. Stripping is a job, whereas pole dancing is an act that is included in stripping, if that makes sense. Can pole dance and sexy dance in general be a type of meditation? Absolutely. I use this as an outlet all the time. If I'm feeling too much of one thing, whether that be, even if it's happiness or anger or sadness, I will dance it out. I'll just dance it out. I'll find a good song that really makes me feel that feeling and go for it. Can anyone begin, and is it weird in the beginning? Yes, anybody can dance. If anybody tells you that you cannot pole dance, don't listen to them. It is so weird in the beginning because there's just so many things that, like, I did not have body awareness whatsoever when I first started, so it was really difficult for me to know, I guess, what foot goes where, or just like how to use my body the way my brain wanted to use my body. I don't know. It was really difficult in the beginning, but with more repetition and more practice, it kind of became second nature. So it was just doing one thing over and over and over and over again. I know there are a lot of people of all sizes that go to pole classes, but I'm still nervous I won't be strong or smooth. I was not either when I first started because I had no upper body strength and no dance background, so I couldn't lift myself, and I was definitely not a smooth dancer. But everything comes in time, and I've never had a dance instructor. I've never had an instructor in pole not be helpful. So, if you need help and you ask the instructor, more likely they're going to do everything in their power to help you succeed and reach your goals. Does the pole spin? Yes, actually. So it can. No, most poles in strip clubs won't spin. So those are called static poles. But a lot of poles do spin, and you can change them. So mine, you can use an Allen wrench and you can unscrew a few different bolts and they will loosen just a little bit and it works. The mechanics make it spin, and then you can tighten them and then it's static. So you can kind of have both. It's neat. But there are some people who are so strong and have these power spins that they will do them on static poles, and it looks like they're on a spin pole, and I just feeds my soul sometimes. Okay. What's the best way to get started? I'm a bit too self-conscious to take a class. Take a friend. Bring a friend that is just as adventurous, and make yourself look cute, bring a friend, and go to the class. And instructors know that, especially when it's your first class, that it's really scary and it's intimidating, and more likely than not, they're gonna help you out and do their best to make the class the best that it can be for you. It's a lot less scary once you take the class, I promise. What is your favorite trick? My go-to trick, oh, that's a hard one. Either the butterfly or the tulip. I like those two. Those two are cool. What is your favorite aspect of the art? Freedom of expression, confidence, dress attire. All of the above. All of the above. I love all of it. How would a bigger girl with very little upper body strength start? Just like anybody else. You just start. I know that that's not something that you wanted to hear, but yeah, you just take a class and you start, and it doesn't matter your size. So it's just a lot of practice, and it's frustrating sometimes, but I mean, it's strength building, you know? You just build on top of whatever you may have at the beginning. And I hope you do start. Do you have a favorite pair of dancing shoes or brand? So my favorite shoes are probably these boots. I love these boots. They're so good. My favorite brand would have to be Pleasers. Totally Pleasers, for sure. They're comfortable, and they come in so many different styles that they can have my wallet, they can have all my money, that's fine. Where do you get certified as an instructor? Certification as a pole instructor is a relatively new thing. It's only been around for a few years now, but I got certified through something called Pole Moves, and it was kind of like it was like a month of classes and homework, and you had to learn all of the different muscle groups, different warm-ups, and why to warm up, and stretches and all that stuff. So I got certified that way. And then I was interning at a pole studio for maybe like 5 or 6 months. So it was kind of like a teacher's assistant, and then on days that the teacher wanted to just kind of see how I would do it, I would just teach the class fully. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was a really good learning experience. Do I have to shave my legs for pole? I don't think so. I know a lot of people who don't shave their legs, that just like let it grow, and they can stick to the pole just fine. So I think you're good. Keep that hair. Do you need a lot of balance and strength for it? I have no upper arm strength or balance. I had neither when I began. You don't have to have it when you begin, but you definitely build it when you keep at it. How do you gain enough confidence to be sexy? I feel like a raw noodle when I try. It's just a lot of practice. Again, like I was not very fluid, but I have videos where I was not fluid at all, but I was feeling myself and I felt sexy. And honestly, like, that's all that matters, because at the end of the day, it's like, as long as I feel sexy and I feel confident about it, I don't care. That's fine. And eventually I'll get the moves, I'll get the body waves, or like whatever I need to get with practice, but like, as long as I feel good about it, that's fine. So it really just translates to you feeling good about yourself. What was the hardest thing to take in so far from a learning standpoint? Somebody can do a move and make it look effortless and beautiful and freeing, and then you try it and everything hurts. And then you're like, this hurts, and the instructor goes, good. That's probably the worst part from a learning standpoint, is realizing that they're all hurting, and there's bruises and rips and blisters, and everything hurts and you're sore, but you know, fitness. What is the best way to start pole dancing if family isn't okay with it? Just do it. I mean, I don't know like where your standpoint is, if you still live with them and if that would be a thing, but I'm lucky enough that my mom is really, really, really supportive about it. She's never judged me for anything, and I'm just really lucky for that. But I definitely have family that was not okay with it, and they just pretend that it's not existing, that's not a part of me, even though it's a big part of me. They just kind of pretend that it's not. If they would just take a step back and hopefully understand and see that it can be something so good of you being more confident in yourself, literally being physically stronger and being physically and mentally healthier, there's a lot of benefits to it. And if they can see that, that would be the best. But at the end of the day, don't dilute your quality of life for the people who are supposed to love you regardless. All right, we're gonna move it to this side now because I don't know. Would you ever be opposed to working at a club? I feel like you would do amazing. I really want to try working at a club. I would love, all right, gonna throw this out there. I want to audition for Jumbo's in Hollywood. I really, like, there are some amazing dancers there, and to be able to perform next to them would be amazing. What warm-ups do you do? Ooh, that's a good one. Shoulder warm-ups. So many shoulder warm-ups. So it's a lot of this, and a lot of like rolling your shoulders out. And I try to do like dancey warm-ups. When you're warming up, you want to do something called dynamic stretches or dynamic movements, meaning you don't want to hold a stretch when you're warming up. So think of your body as like a rubber band. If it's cold and you try to pull it, it's going to snap. But if you warm it up, then you can stretch it a lot further. So that's why running in place, doing jumping jacks, or doing a lot of shoulder rolls, and just warming up your body before any physical exercise is very, very important. But particularly for pole, I like to do some kind of floor work warm-ups. So then it works the abdominals also, and you look cute. How you got the confidence just to put yourself out there? What did you tap into? Satan. No. I mean, it took me 6 years. I've been dancing for 6 years, and I think just eventually just getting to the point where you don't care anymore. You've heard it all, and at the end of the day, like, if people don't want to understand, they're not gonna listen to you. It's just like anything of working up the confidence to do anything. Yeah, it just time, persistence, and then you just stop caring. Yeah, so at the end of the day, personally believe that anybody and everybody can pole dance if they want to. There's nothing wrong with being really proud of your body and showing it off. There's nothing wrong with keeping that to yourself and keeping it a hobby. Honestly, pole is totally different for every single person, so I don't expect it to be in a box for anything. But that is pretty much it. I hope that this answered some of your questions about pole dancing, and as for the rest of you, I'm sure, yes, I do incorporate my dance into my craft every so often because it is such a powerful everything. I meditate with it, I release with it, I make it a ritualistic thing sometimes, and it's a really cool thing to incorporate into my craft. So if you are curious in trying pole dancing, I highly recommend that you do, and if you decide to share, of course, use the hashtag Wonderlust Coven on Instagram, because that would be so cool to see some of my other pole dancing witches. But again, like I said, to each their own. This can be something that's a private hobby, or it can be something that totally encapsulates your life, like mine. At the end of the day, I just say that you should be proud with who you are and what you are, and keep yourself healthy and strong. So, thank you for hanging out with me today and listening to me answer some of these questions. And if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below, because I'll do my best to get back to you. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Best of luck. Be kind to each other. And may your gods treat you as you've treated others. Bye. Also, if you're in LA and you want to come dance with me, I would love that. I teach classes Monday and Wednesday nights at 7:30 and Saturday at 11:30 a.m. So if you want to come and take a class with me, I will leave all of that information down below. Shameless self-plug, because how cool would that be if I could dance with some of the Wonderlust Coven? Hey. All right. That's really it. Have a good day. See you in the next one. Bye.